Hello, everyone. This is Delana from Delana's Yoga Suite, and we are live here in the studio. Welcome to your session. If this is your first visit to Delana's Yoga Suite, welcome. If you are returning to Delana's Yoga Suite, welcome as well. Today, we're going to go over the pose half moon pose. So, this is a standing balancing pose. And this is really great for those who are having balance issues. There are many ways that you can get into this pose, and I'll definitely go over them using props and even a chair to get into the pose. You can even use a wall with this pose. This is also a really great way to realign your hips and shoulders. It will also help to strengthen your ankles. It will also help to strengthen the calves here as well. And it will also help with your grounding. So, a lot of times when we're walking, a lot of times we're moving about. Sometimes we forget to use our toes and we start to lift our toes as we're walking about. And we sometimes forget to engage the toes as we're walking about. And this is really significant, especially when we're working with our balance. So this will really help to activate those toes to really ground us and helping us balance, because that's all as well as important for our balance as well, working with the toes. So this pose will be offered with various variations. So again, do not feel as if you are forced or have to get into a version of half moon pose that is incredibly uncomfortable. So if something is uncomfortable about the pose, definitely come out of it, definitely readjust it, and just make it your own. In yoga, there's nothing that is forced, so you don't want to force anything with any of the poses or any of the work that you're doing on or off the mat. So we're definitely going to get into it. This is an open level practice. No experience is necessary. We're definitely going to break everything down so you can really get into the feel of it. And we're just going to use our breath to engage that as well. So we want to first start off by creating your space on your mat. So I'm going to bring a chair with me. And you can also use a sofa, a couch. You can also use anything of that caliber to assist you with this pose as well. So it doesn't have to be a folding chair. You can use your sofa, your couch. You can even use the end of your table. I'm also going to work with blocks here. So if you do have your yogi blocks, feel free to bring those with you as well. You can also use I also like to tell people that they can use like hardback books or canned fruits and vegetables. But because of this pose, we're going to be distributing quite a bit of weight. You want something that's really thick. So again, for those who would like to use any props, definitely go to the chair, sofa, or couch route. You can also use a wall here. This is a really great pose to get into from your wall. So first and foremost, we're going to start off by standing right dead set into the middle of the mat or right at the top edge of your mat or space. You want enough room so that you can kick your legs back. So we're going to breathe in and lift the arms above the head for just a moment. And then from here, we're going to exhale. Tighten the stomach a little bit to support the lower back. We're going to come into a half forward fold. And you'll notice as I come into my half forward fold, I immediately start to make contact with the mat and floor using my fingertips, using my finger pads. If you are using the chair, sofa, or couch, you're going to press the palms into either side of the seat of the chair. And if you're using blocks here, the yogi blocks, pick the height of your blocks to where you need them. Maybe you don't need them as high. Maybe you want them to be a little bit more sturdy, but flattening them completely. But you want to make as much contact with the mat and floor as possible. So that's why it's really important that you do so. You want to make contact as much as possible with the mat and floor. So from here, you'll notice that my knees are fully straightened, and I'm here at the half forward fold, but you can also bend the knees a little bit to give, especially if you have tight hamstrings and calves here. So if the backs of the legs are really tight here, just put a small little bend here, because we're still going to need that push, that stability from the legs. So from here, start off by shifting your weight into that right leg and right foot. We're going to lift the left side of the body. And as we shift that weight to the right foot, the right leg, kind of guide the fingers so that they're on either side of that right leg and foot. And you can do this with the blocks. You can also do this with the chair. You can just press the hands into the chair and just shift your weight. So starting here, we're going to swing that left leg back. And from here, I like to let people know that you can tap your toes into the floor if you're not ready to fully lengthen and lift that leg. So feel free to lift that leg a little bit. You can lift it a little bit or a lot right at the hips. Your goal is to lift that leg as high as possible, as much as the body allows you to. Your maximum, you don't want to overlift the leg here. You want it right at the hip because you want that spine to lengthen from the top of the head to the heel of the foot. And we're going to flex this left foot. So press that left heel to the back of the room. Pull the toes toward the face or the front of the mat. Now, we're going to start to peel open this hip. So take your time coming into this pose. And if you want to do this up against the wall, go ahead and press your right shoulder and right hip into the wall. And you can still use the chair, the blocks. And again, we're lifting this left leg. If you would like to use the wall here, press your toes into the floor, that right set of toes. Like I said, peel open that left hip, and you're going to peel open that left shoulder and press your leg, your seat, and your shoulders into the wall here. Fully flatten the back of the body here. Press into the right foot, looking straight ahead, or you can turn your head over that left shoulder. For those looking to extend that arm, you can really extend, reach, and stretch that whole body from the tips of the fingers to the bottom of the foot. And I'm going to come out of this pose because we're going to do this from the chair as well. So if you want to work from the chair, we're here with a flattened back, a half forward fold. We've already shifted the weight to that right leg. We're lifting that left leg either a little bit or a lot. And we're just going to peel open. Peel open that left hip, the left shoulder, and your arm can extend up toward the sky or ceiling. If you have hypertension, high blood pressure, shoulder issues, press that hand into the hip. You can still extend that left arm above the head if you really want that full extension of the body. But the hand presses into the chair. The standing leg, the toes are going to point to the front, but you're going to feel that lifted side of the body pointing the toes to the side of the mat. Breathing in, coming out. Feel free to roll that hand down first. The hip will follow. And just roll that leg down into the mat and floor. Take this opportunity to slowly lift the torso and shake out the feet and the legs. Maybe the hands. With our half moon pose, we're sharing the weight of the body on one side of the body. So you'll notice as you start to peel open, your body, you're going to feel the hips and shoulders stack. So we're going to switch sides, because whatever we do on one side of the body, we want to make sure we do it on the other. So I'm going to use the yogi blocks on this side of the body. If you would like to use the wall on this side of the body, press your left shoulder, that opposite side, the left shoulder and hip into the wall here. You can still bend the knees a little bit or a lot. For those who would like to use a prop, such as a chair, sofa, and couch, or just the yoga blocks, you can still use the wall here as well. So I'm going to use the blocks here, and then I'll use them without the blocks. So first, again, we're going to come into that half forward fold. We're going to halfway flatten the first half of the body here, and then start to shift your weight to that left leg and foot. Go ahead, feel free to square off the blocks, the hands on either side of the left leg. We're going to swing this right leg back. Go ahead and continue to flex the right foot here. Pressing that right heel to the back of the mat, pointing the toes to the front, and start to peel open that right hip. You'll notice as you peel open the right hip here, the hips start to naturally stack over top of each other, especially when you start to roll that right shoulder open. So now the shoulders and the hips are stacked. If you're using the wall, press the whole back of the body into the wall. You can straighten that right arm, but if you have hypertension, high blood pressure, shoulder issues, press that right hand into the hip. If you are interested in fully extending and stretching the full lengthening of the body from the tips of the fingers down to the heels, feel free to roll that arm right above the right ear. You're still stacking the shoulder. Wherever you are within this pose, go ahead and start to roll that right arm and hand down. You'll feel that right shoulder roll down, and the right leg can come down. Take your time coming in and out of this pose. There is no rush, especially with your balancing poses. You don't have to rush your balancing pose. So now I'm going to come into this pose. I'm going to do this pose without the blocks, so that you can kind of see what it looks like without using completely any of the props. Remember, you want to make contact with the mat and floor in any way possible. So if coming down to the mat using your finger pads and palms are uncomfortable, if you're not ready, if your body's not ready to come all the way down using the palms and finger pads, feel free to use your yogi blocks, your chairs, your sofa, your couches. Feel free to use the wall as well. You want to make, again, some contact with the mat and floor. Swinging that leg back after you shifted the weight to your standing leg. Press your toes from your pinky toes to the big toe into the mat and floor. Peel open that right hip. Peel open the right shoulder. The hips and shoulders are stacking here. Remember to engage the breath here. So breathe in through the nose and breathe out. Breathing in. Breathe out. One more deep breath in. Breathe out. Slowly breathe in. Lower that right hand. Lower the right leg. And we're going to bend the knees and lower the seat here. So, one of the great things about taking your time into your balancing pose, it really allows you to create mindfulness within the body. So, You're able to get a checklist going within the body. You're feeling how the feet feel, the legs feel. Should I lift the torso or lower the torso? Is this the right height for me, for my leg or limb? Should I add a prop? Should I take it the next step further? You can always shift and change your poses to your needs. You definitely want to make sure you do that, especially working with your balancing pose. This is, again, a really great pose to practice with. And again, you can use a wall. You don't have to use a yoga mat. You can just pop right into it. And you can use a wall. You don't have to use a wall. Again, you can use your furniture. And this pose will be really great for, again, realigning the shoulders, stacking the hips, aligning the hips here, especially if you feel kind of lopsided with the hips, especially when sitting. It'll also help to strengthen the ankles, and it'll help anchor the toes into the mat and floor, really activate and really press the feet. We sometimes, again, as I mentioned before, we sometimes forget as we are walking to really engage the feet. We really don't think about how we're engaging the feet here. So when you're working with a balancing pose, especially with this pose, this really helps with engaging the toes, working with your balance. Your toes are a part of your balance work. So it really helps to really activate all of the toes from your pinky toe to the big toe, especially the heels here. It really helps to work with your arches and strengthening the arches as well within the feet. So it's a lot of good stuff is happening here in your balancing pose. So definitely take your time and enjoy your practice. It doesn't have to be all completely work. So have a little fun with it. Enjoy it, relax with it, close your eyes while practicing. And most important of all is breathe. Breathe deeply, elongate the breath. As we ease the breath, it will ease the pose as well. So if you're doing a lot of shaking and wobbling within your balancing pose, your breath work will help you ease the wobbly and shakiness. So breathe deeply, no matter where you are within the pose. So a lot of great things are happening with all of our yoga practices. And as we shift and change into a new season, into a new time zone, definitely feel free to shift and change yourself into a better quality of life, mentally and physically. I want to thank you for sharing your moment here. Feel free to click a like and subscribe into this video, and as well as all of the other videos here. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a message at the bottom. If you're interested in any type of yoga classes, whether online, get your health and wellness by any means, feel free to contact me at www.delanasyogasweet.com. If you're also interested in Thai massage services, whether in studio or whether I can travel to you, you can definitely go to the website as well. Feel free to go to the description if you would like to get a piece of that website. You can also check me out, Delana's Yoga Suite, as well on most of the social media platforms such as Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, definitely on YouTube. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much for sharing your space with me. May you find peace within and without. Namaste.